Alrighty, welcome to day 7. So this one's actually fairly simple. That's the reason why we combined it with day 5. And all you really have to do is pay attention to this lovely little chart that right here that says describing the center, which is basically the middle, the spread, that means the range. So remember, range is high minus the low. That's your range. So from one end of the day to the other. And just like in art, so you guys have probably covered by now symmetrical and asymmetrical. So symmetrical remains it's the same on both sides. So if we were to like fold this right down the center, this side's the exact same as this side right here. If we're skewing to the right, what we're looking at is the tail. And that means we have a whole lot of data points on the left-hand side, but very few on the right, which is why we say it's skewed to the right. Same thing here, we're looking at the tail. So if the tail is really long on the left, that means our data is skewed left. So if we look at this one, the center of the data distribution, that means basically if I'm looking at just the data, what does it look like? So the center of it is between 2.1 and 3. And remember, we're talking about distance, so that's going to be miles. Now, if we're looking at the spread, remember we're looking at just the range. I know it goes from 0 and 1/10 all the way up to 5 miles. And so remember, I want to go ahead and subtract these two because high minus low is my range. So 5.0 minus 0.1, I'm going to borrow from my 5 and give a 10. So I'm left with 4.9 miles as my spread or my range of my data. If we're looking at the shape, if I was to put a lovely little dotted line here and fold it directly in half, that means half of my data is exactly the same as the other half. So this right here is going to be what we call symmetrical. I'm trying to make sure I can spell it this afternoon. All right, so because this thing is symmetrical, the awesome thing is if I was to do a box plot on this, the box plot would actually show me, and yes, I'm just bringing a box plot again, because this right here is my median, right? As y'all know. But if this is the same as this, so actually I'm gonna go ahead and shade these so you can see what I'm talking about. So if this amount is the same as this amount, and these two on the inside matches, that means that my mean and my median are the exact same. So the mean is just a way of saying average. So we add up all the numbers together and divide it by 2. Because this is symmetrical, that means it's probably most likely going to be falling between the 2.1 and 3 mile range. Hope that helps.